Okay, as is typical for any machine, got another maintenance issue. Here I was mowing the grass the other day, got started, only got about 10 feet done, and the blades kicked out. My clutch is not working any longer. So I am going to put this on my little fancy nose rack thing, if it'll work, and pull that sucker off of there. Now there's a, not sure what's on the bottom of this one. The last one I did, it was just a big nut on there. The whole thing slid off. This looks like it's got something. I have to look into that. It looks like I might have to spin that bottom pulley to get it to come off of there. Well, I'll just stick this camera up in here and then I'll play this back and I'll see exactly what that is. Alright, well, gotta get it done. The grass gotta be cut. Okay, so no clutch. We'll just check it out here. Turn the key on. Pull the clutch. Got nothing. There's the connector. Nothing. Well, do we have any voltage? Let's find out. Okay, and turn the key back off. This is easier if you drop it down. Pull it down under here. They say it's easier if you, unless it's a pain in the butt. And then there's a harness there. So you bring it down here, and you gotta pull up this little thing over here and pull that out. So here's the power coming into it. So we're gonna put that right there. And I'm just gonna ground my negative to something. Just something. So turn the key back on, pull the clutch, switch. I'll try this top one first. This top terminal. And at the bottom one. Alright, I'm going to reach up to the ground on the battery. Nothing there. There we go. So I got 12 volts to that top terminal. Alright, so that tells you the power's going through, the switch is working. The other thing I was going to do, and I'm not really sure this has anything to do with it or not. I was going to check continuity to the clutch, but I'm not certain on that. I got continuity there, so it is indeed just as simple as the other one. And I gotta watch out for this thing because it's so falling apart. I'm gonna get underneath that. It is just one single nut, so I'm gonna pop that off of there. I'm gonna do it without taking the belt off. Although I know there's probably little chance that I'll be able to put it back up there without doing it without the belt, and I'll have to drop the deck back and slide it forward. So let's get that sucker off there. That should slide right on down off that shaft. Well, I may have to disconnect the belt anyway, just to loosen it up from that so I can get a look at this thing. Alright, so I've been successful. Replaced the PTO clutch, just mowed the grass. Everything's nice and pretty out there. Unfortunately, what I don't think I showed you is once I put this PTO clutch and plugged it in, nothing happened. I'd monkeyed with this plug, and I had 12 volts here. I've had trouble with that switch before. I replaced that switch. I used to have to go up here and just monkey with the wires and it would kick back in. What I ended up doing is disconnecting the plug off of that switch and put it back on, wobbly wobbly. So I guess I should spray it with some WD-40 now. And I got this. what I'm thinking now, this thing, I forget how old this machine is, but I'm willing to bet that there's nothing wrong with this clutch and that it was that connector the whole time. So what I'm going to do is plug it in here and we're going to find out for sure. So before you replace your PTO clutch just because it doesn't work, you're going to need diagnosis is to check the voltage here. However, if it still doesn't work, I would say pull that plug on the back of the PTO switch up there and make sure those connections are good. So stand by here a second. Let's plug this in and see what happens. Well, I'll tell you what, that connector is not coming apart by itself. It just took me 5 minutes to pry that out of there. That's crazy. There's a little tab on top, a little locking tab. Pry that up and then somehow get a hold of the plug to get them apart. Jeez. Get it? Well, what can I say? Got a spare PTO clutch. So, the point of the whole story is check all your connections. Just because I had 12 volts coming out of here, I thought, okay, that's the telltale. That means the clutch is no good. But the clutch failed from using it one day. In fact, I'd just gone out, started to cutting the grass, and the PTO clutch wouldn't engage. The fact that it went all of a sudden should have told me that, okay, something's happened. Generally, if these things are going to go out, they're going to start acting up. You're going to kick in, kick out, whatever, start slipping, whatever. But when it goes that quick, this is a good boy here. Warner Electric. This is the stock original one. I think this is 20 years old. So I will be wiping down some of this with WD-40. Spray the rusty parts. It's a friction clutch, so you don't want to get it soaked too much, but you know. So there you have it, the second part of the troubleshooting after the fact. I'm going to break this out, and this is probably going to be a separate video attached to the end of this. Change one out just in case. Alright, that'll save you $100. Luckily it's only $100 for this clutch, and it's possible that clutch will fail way earlier than this. If not, I got a spare. I seem to be collecting these kind of mowers and things. So alright, until next time, like usual, like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Send me money if you feel like it. If not, I'm just going to continue on plugging away. Alright, till next time.